Hello, I'm the Curator, and this is today's item. Now, some people know I'm a massive fan of Kraftwerk, and this is not one of their better known albums. This is their third-ish album, Ralf und Florian. Now, it was never released officially as a CD, so this is a bootlegged copy I bought, and in the beginning it was released by, I believe, an Italian company called Crown Records. Yeah. There it says, yeah, Italy. I don't think you'll be able to see that because we're focusing, but yeah, Italy, 20058 Villa Santa, Via Vicinale della Brioccia, 155. I presume that's the that's the address. But yeah, 6 songs long, bootleg, made in Italy in 1995. The album was originally released in 1973. It was one of the albums produced by Connie Plank in their krautrock days, but you can certainly hear in it their sort of influences in it, especially in songs like Cristalo and Tanzmusik. Tanzmusik being German for dance music. I expected this, being a bootleg, to feel sort of bootleggish, like low quality in that, but it really isn't that bad. It does feel a bit like it's trying too hard in opposed to actual releases. But yeah, there's the CD, then with Kraftwerk's then logo, the traffic cone here in yellow, in opposed to the orange red of the first one and the luminous green of their second album. If we take the CD leaflet out, it's a picture of Ralf und Florian on the cover. People have noted them looking more like scientists than musicians, sort of like beginnings of their later sort of robotic look, and the look they had in like Trans Europe Express and Radio Activity and stuff like that, where they wore business suits in sort of an antithesis to the rock and roll of the time. This one's Ralf, this one's Florian. Ralf Hutter and Florian Schneider-esleban. And they were together for about 40 years as Kraftwerk, but then Florian left in 2008 and he sort of stopped doing music all in all. I think I read an interview with Ralf that said he sort of just stopped doing music, and he said they probably won't get back together as Kraftwerk ever again, which is sort of sad, but fair enough. Inside there's a picture of their studio at the time. You see like egg boxes on the walls and all their sort of early synth and stuff like that, including some of their some of the instruments they earlier used, like Florian's flutes, guitar, and their sort of original Ralf and Florian neon signs, which were used in their shows for quite some time. Even in their sort of We Are Robots days, and when they toured for Computer World, they had them on the stage as well. Ralf, Carl, Wolfgang and Florian. As you can see there in the background, the traffic cone, their sort of logo, sort of big speakery bits. It was quite a sort of bohemian, sort of very basic atmosphere. I would think this was in Kling Klang. I can't remember, to be sure though. Yeah, I can't remember. As simple as that. But yeah, it's a really nice and well made CD. The music itself is really, really nice. A couple of the songs, I feel, compared to their late stuff, are a bit aimless, I suppose, but that might just be me knowing their later stuff, and that is, you know, has a beat to it, has a proper melody. But you know, Ananias Symphony, which is a Pineapple Symphony, I think it is. It's long and it's quite nice and sort of atmospheric, but it doesn't feel as if it goes anywhere. The album starts with Electricious Roulette, which is a really, really good song. It has a melody that it sounds Kraftwerkian, if that makes sense, which is, you know, sort of duh, but this is sort of Kraftwerk before they were the Kraftwerk we know of today, and it's cool that you can hear even then that they were sort of on the way to doing the sort of melodies, the memorable melodies that we know. Tonberg is sort of one of those ones that's sort of experimental and a bit aimless because of that. Crystallo is a very, very pretty song. You really need to listen to it. It goes a bit odd in the middle and it goes backwards at the end, but it's really pretty and, well, crystally. It's sort of icy and pointed, it sounds like, but in a sort of not like a frigid and clinical way like Architype. It feels really sort of warm and in a way sort of familiar, but at the same time still sort of, well, crystally. Heimat Klang, Bells of Home, I believe that is. Again, it's sort of one of the experimental ones which sort of goes on with itself. It doesn't really go anywhere. Tanzmusik is a proper Kraftwerk song. It's probably the sort of most firm standpoint that you can hear of Kraftwerk being Kraftwerk. It is a dance song. It's a dancing song. It is electronic dance music. The sort of basic DNA of it there in 1973, and you can look on YouTube for a video of them playing Tanzmusik on a German, I presume it's a talk show program, back with an early Wolfgang Flor replete with massive moustache and an early version of their knitting needly electronic drums. Is it worth listening to? Very, very much, yes. They have hinted that they might re-release it at some point, and I really hope they do, because their earlier music is just as worthwhile as the music they do today. It's sort of like you wouldn't just like something without knowing the history of it, and this is the history of it. Is like the early stages before Autobahn, Trans-Europe Express, Man Machine, Computer World, all the stuff that we know. This is the early days. Thank you very, very much for watching, and good day to you all.